Alright, what's going on, guys? Jordo Bombay here with another episode of Jordo's Classics. As we know, I am currently on SLY 2, Band of Thieves, sequel to SLY and the THIEVES Raccoonus. Now, what we're going to be starting today is episode 7, but if you're new to this channel, if you're new to this series, just a quick little recap for you guys. What we started off with was an intro, picking up a few years after SLY 1, and what ended up happening was the clockwork parts were inside the Egyptian Natural Museum, or Natural History Museum. There we go. And what happened was it was stolen by a different gang. We were introduced to a whole new set of villains. We're introduced to a new cop, which was Constable Neela, and we'll kind of get into her story a little bit later too. Now, episode 1, we met the first member of the new group of villains called the Claw Gang. This was Dimitri. He owned a nightclub in Paris. What he had was a clockwork tail feathers, and we were able to steal those from him with the help of Neela. She did kind of show us around. Second one, we end up meeting the second member, which is a spice lord by the name of Rajan. He is located in India, and at his first estate, what we ended up doing was we stole the clockwork wings. Once again, with the help of Neela, did a little dancing with her, doing stuff like that. Then after that, Rajan did get away. There was no boss fight. So episode 3 starts. We go into the jungles of India. We find him at a different little fortress. We later learn that he's got both parts of the clockwork heart. First, we were able to steal the clockwork heart with Sly. He brought it back to the safe house. And then later, they were able to get it with Bentley because Bentley had a boss battle with Rajan. However, Neela did end up betraying Sly and Murray. And then also Carmelita. She claimed that Carmelita never caught this Cooper gang because she was always working with them. That's why. So Sly, Carmelita, and Murray all ended up going to jail. So next episode, we're just Bentley. We're dealing with a new member of the Claw Gang named the Contessa. She is a prison warden and she works with Interpol, but she's a crooked cop. A little bit of an adult theme for an E for Everyone game for sure. But Bentley was able to break out Sly and Murray, and we were able to get the other part of the clockwork heart. Now, we end up going again against the Contessa at her Gothic manor, essentially. Neela is going against the Contessa as well. We're kind of playing both sides, pitting them against each other. But we were able to get the clockwork eyes from the Contessa in the end and defeat her, and she ended up getting arrested. After that, we go to Canada. We meet the next member of the Claw Gang, which was Jean Bison, or Gene Bison as I like to call him. What he ended up having was the clockwork lungs and then the clockwork stomach. Now, odd parts to have for sure, but what he was doing was he was using them to run trains 24/7, so that way he could be importing spice for the Claw Gang. Now we were able to put a stop to that spice shipments. We were able to steal all 3 of those parts. Which leads us to where we are right now, which will be episode 7. This episode is called Menace in the North A. Little play on words for the Canadians there. But this is a really fun episode. I really like the vibe of this one. So I'm going to quit my yapping. But before I do that, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you think. Pushes my videos in the algorithms, that way we can get some more eyes on it, and also it's a completely free way for you to support me. That being said, let's get into this. Let's start out these masterful cutscenes.
Things just weren't right up in Canada. Random acts of violence were popping up like weeds, and the Northern Lights, well, they just weren't right. One night they'd be brighter than ever, and the next, gone. In Nunavut Bay, I overheard talk between Jean Bisson and his mysterious partner Arpeggio. Somehow, those two are behind it all. Tracking the source of the disturbance was easy. By simply following the lights, we were led north to an immense lumber camp. The sheer number of fallen trees advertised Jean Bisson's presence and that he was in possession of the clockwork talons. The THIEVES Raccoonus makes numerous references to the talons slicing through plates of steel. A skilled lumberjack like Bisson could clear a forest in hours while wielding the artifacts. Those talons have got to go, both to finally do away with clockwork and to save the environment from his twisted sense of progress. The world just doesn't need to make space for another strip mall.
Alright, so we heard that. Looks like Jean Bisson has the clockwork talent, so let's make our way over and see what we can do.
Arpeggio's blip is on its way to pick up a battery from Jean Bisson. And two, the only
And
way
Arpeggio
we can
is the
find
final member of
Arpeggio's
the Claw Gang.
upgrade is by finding a way to sneak aboard his blip.
But before we do that, we'll need to snag the clockwork talons off John Bisson. Time is short and we've got a lot to accomplish.
True, but first things first. This lumber camp isn't on any of my maps. I need you to poke around and take some recon photos. They'll help to get my sensors oriented.
No problem. Recon photos, I got covered.
In anticipation of the icy climate, I took the liberty of modifying your cane. It can now separate into two smaller canes, useful for ice climbing. Try ascending to the top of that sheet of ice. Just jump and hit the circle button to dig in.
Alright. We heard him. We're at a lumber camp, and Arpeggio is on his way to come get these parts. Or, sorry, not the parts. He's on his way to get the Northern Lights battery, which that'll come up later in a mission as well, so we'll be able to see that a little bit later in this level. But no, I mean, the game's coming to a close. You know, we're on the last two members of the Claw Gang. There were 5 total, so we're over 60% of the way through just because we are in the last part. We obviously know that this one's gonna consist of a boss battle, because that's what all these do. Hey, look at that new thing the canes can do. Another jump and hit the circle button moment. Alright, let's get this. Might as well. We're already over here. Alright, let's start up some recon.
See my cane upgrade perform so well in the field. Now scout the area. I could really use the reconnaissance.
Ow. I got a lot of stuff to take pictures of, so good way for me to kind of run around, get some clues, show you guys the map too. Which is obviously the point of this mission as is, so makes a lot of sense. Excuse me. So as you guys can see, bears are obviously a part of this area as well. We are in bear country. I'll get that one later. That one's an easy one to find. Jeez, parked the van far away from the safe house in this one. Down here. Where did we come from? Yeah. I'll figure that out later. Here we go. Gotta take a picture of those sawmill blades. Little sapphire. I know I don't really buy a lot of stuff with the coins. Like, I understand that. But it's just... This game turns you into a klepto, alright? It's not my fault. I'm just using the game mechanics for what they were meant for, if anything. Alright, there's another clue down there.
Those saw blades look particularly old. I guess this logging camp has been around for a while.
Also remember, John he was born in the 1800s, so he was frozen, you know, a little bit of like the whole frozen mammoth thing, all that kind of stuff, the good old day after tomorrow stuff, where you kind of get frozen so quickly and then boom, you're just frozen in time. It's gotta be awkward. Imagine being frozen for 150 years and then just waking up and all of a sudden there's all this technology. This was 2004 though, so I guess it wasn't as much of like a culture shock as waking up in 2024. Cell phones, internet. I know there was internet in 2004. I understand that, but it wasn't nearly as big as what it is now. And there wasn't fiber internet. It had dial-up then. I think this was like pre-Windows Vista. So pretty dope cabin.
The lair of the beast, the den of evil, the epicenter of ecological destruction.
I'd buy that cabin. Oh yeah, I would. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to this so I can get a cabin like that. Oh boy. What up, Doc? Or Duck? Jeez, that killed him? He can fly. He's a duck. I saw a clue over there too. Down there as well. You have to get a picture of a bear in a boat after this. Really? You just gave up? Okay. Okay, game. Dang it. Ooh, that was close. I don't think, yeah, at no point in this game can you even go inside that cabin. So it's kind of like, what was the point of that, you know? Yeah, I thought you were able to spire jump onto that. Appears not. It's kind of a jumping at the square button, not circle button situation, which is rare in this game. Got him. Pretty smooth if I say so myself, which I do. Picture of this boat. Oh yeah, also, so I know in some previous levels there are some random enemies that pop out of things, like snakes that pop out of little pots in the Rajan ones, or out of weeds in the Rajan ones. The guys that randomly were statues and then just stopped being statues in the Contessa levels. Well, in this level, there are guys in outhouses. Which is hilarious. Ducks in outhouses. Who would have thought? Hear a clue up there. I know how to get up there. I think those fishing boats are sweet too. I think I said that in the last episode as well. I like this part, okay? Makes me think of like how cool I think Alaska would be. Not that I've ever been there. It's got nothing to do with Canada, alright? I don't like Canada. Don't try to pretend like that's what I meant to say. Alright? You know exactly who I'm talking to. I know you watch these videos, and I know exactly that you know who I'm talking to. Here's that. Picture this bear anyway. This is a good pose.
This place is
Terrifying.
bear country, all right. Interesting. He's putting out a slight radio signature. Okay, that should do it. Now for the real point of interest. Head for that lighthouse and try to find a way to sneak in.
Alright, yeah, so I know that taking like these recon photos and stuff like that, they typically do what's the word I'm looking for here? They do point to future missions. Like Bentley said that there was a radio signal coming from the bears. There was a Wi-Fi signal coming from the boats. Stuff like that. So like that stuff does come up later in missions. It's stuff I didn't really notice personally when I was a kid, but you know, when you have a little bit more critical thinking, you start to notice for obvious reasons. All right. Oh, that's perfect. We made grabbing clues pretty easy. I already got 19. Oh, there's somebody in here. Sucks for those guys 'cause I'm just destroying outhouses here. Where do these lumberjacks sleep? That's my question. I mean, there are a few buildings around here. Maybe they sleep in some of those buildings. That's what I assumed in the last level anyway. These are types I think about. What's the cost of living up here? Hey, look who it is. Got it.
Looking at that spinner makes me dizzy.
How would that make you dizzy? It's not even moving. It's a picture, you dummy.
That's the battery charger, but where's the battery Arpeggio's coming to pick up? I was right. The entrance is barred from the inside.
How did
Might as well get a shot of
Big
old
Boy
Jordo.
get in here then? Or, I mean, okay, he obviously got in through the front door, but how is he leaving? You know?
Come on, Jean. You got it in you. Those lumberjack games need some more competition, eh? What would attract the participants? Bullseye! I'll post the clockwork talons as a trophy. That should bring in the competition. Although, who am I kidding, eh? I'm gonna win just like every other year. Oh, it's tough being this tough. It sure is, yeah.
Head back to the safe house. We need to talk about these lumberjack games.
Well, guys, Jean Bisson has unknowingly thrown down the gauntlet. With the Clockwork Talons as a trophy, we'd be fools not to participate in his lumberjack games. Fortunately, due to frequent avalanches, a log chopping guide was frozen in a wall of ice not far from our position. Sly, you're in charge of acquiring the book. I'm sure it will prove invaluable. Now, we're all aware that Arpeggio's blimp is coming to pick up another battery. To sneak aboard without incident, I'd recommend we pull a Trojan horse and stow away inside the battery. However, the location of the device is still a mystery. We need some inside information. So, working together, you two will infiltrate the Moose Guard's secret RC combat club. Those guys all work in the lighthouse. If you win the battle, I'm sure they'll talk. Despite his antique mind, Jean Bisson's no fool. To keep tabs on him, we'll need to bug his house, steal the radio tags off local bears, and then jerry-rig them into a sensor array. It's a challenging set of tasks, and that blimp's on its way. Let's get to work.
Alright, looks like we got some stuff. Got some tasks. Let's see whose tasks I want to do first. Got an RC Combat Club, Bear Cave bugging. Let's do the Bear Cave one first. Nothing for Bentley this round. So that's nice. Not that I don't like Bentley, it's I don't like Bentley's missions. Alright. Oh boy. Just let me go. Oh. Really? They gave up that easily? These guards stink. Hitman would be disappointed in you guys. I've never even played a Hitman game. I'm just assuming that he would be. I didn't get over... Ooh, I didn't get over that? What's the point, Sly? I thought you were an athlete. Ducking a hard hat. You love to see it.
The wild bears in the area have been tagged with radio tracking devices. If you could snag enough of them, we should be able to set up a receiver array around Jean Bisson's house.
I'm always up for bugging someone's home.
The first step is crawling into that bear cave and stealing the goods.
I'm on it.
Alright, let's go pick some bears' pockets. You know, bears had pockets.
The radio transmitters have all walking it while they're yawning.
Sounds safe.
Stay clear of the thin, crackly ice. Walking on it is sure to wake the bears.
I'll keep that in mind.
Oh boy. Come on. I'm not gonna do it because I'm an expert, but if you wake the bears, it sucks. It doesn't let you like try to get away or anything. The mission just ends. You know, what's the point? I'd have to outrun some bears. Oof, man. This would be nerve-wracking. So they can't hear me if I step on that. I get that. But they can't hear this? How is that not the same? How is that not louder? Thank you. Nice. Good news is all of this is in a circle. Makes it easier for me. Makes for a very efficient mission. Oh, that was close. I didn't even know that ice was right below me.
Only you could have pulled that off. Head outside and I'll fill you in on the next step.
Oh. Oh boy. Oof, man. Make my skin crawl. I mean, that would turn into like a bear fight, like from Anchorman.
To form a receiver array, you'll have to place the radio transmitters in precise locations around Jean Bisson's base of operations.
Seems easy enough.
Once you're
This
in
is
position,
another
hit the
runaround
circle
mission.
button to place the transmitter.
Okay, come on. You. Rex Scrub. I'm sure another clue. Okay, come on, game. There we go. Let's go. Excuse me. Oh, no! No! Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. Okay, well, I guess it worked out. Did that on purpose. You know what? Say what you want about all these villains, but they really seem to care about their employees at least. You know? I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like they're good guys, but they seem like good bosses at least. Just goes to show everybody's got redeeming qualities. And as somebody who's worked for a bad boss, you know, at least Jean's calling out good stuff there. Gotta give him that. Also, he's cutting down trees. I mean, at least he's not spreading drugs like Rajan was. Or hypnotizing people like the Contessa. To be fair though, the Contessa was doing it to criminals. So there was that. So hers probably wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either. Dimitri was just a nightclub owner. Last one's supposed to go. Dang, Claw Gang's not really that bad. I mean, the Fiendish Five from the first game killed Sly's dad. All the Claw Gang's doing is just working. What a horrible realization for me to have now.
Nice work. The array's up and running.
Welcome, Bentley. So I see a clue right here. Yeah, I think I can actually buy the silent obliteration now too. Ooh, there's another one up there. Let's go. I think there was one on some wires before too, if I recall. Not maybe it was that one. It just looked like it was on wires. I think that there's one over here too, if I recall correctly. Here, this one. Throw up this mission. This next one I do actually have to run around a bit again.
Sly, I've detected what appears to be an ancient guide to log chopping that might be useful for the lumberjack games. Unfortunately, it's frozen deep in an ice wall.
How are we supposed to get to it? Wait for more global warming?
That industrial laser is used to cut through petrified logs. If it could be bounced out that window, with your help, I should be able to harness its energy to melt the ice wall and free the bug.
How do I redirect that thing?
There should be a switch on the other side of this wall. Throw it and then head outside.
Alright, looks like we're going to be using a laser saw. That'll be fun. I don't know if anybody's ever used one of those, but they're a good time. Eesh. Now to clarify before, I'm not sitting here pretending like cutting down trees is like a good thing or anything like that. But if he's like the last lumberjack company around, 99% sure we can plant more. This part's kind of confusing. I got so lost as a kid. All you have to do is just go down. Just gotta get to those ladders first. I think actually one of these houses is where the vault is for the clues. Prowler's been spotted. Now he's saying don't let him get to that laser saw. Exactly where I'm going. What are the odds he says that while I'm in here, you know? Yeah, you hear that? The man loves his job, and he wants his employees to love his job. I'm sorry, but I'm just not seeing the bad guy in old Gene here. Old Gene Bison, as they call him. Really.
Now to get that laser pointed at the ice wall, you'll need to alter its direction with the crystals I put in your pouch.
I see. I just walk to where the laser stops, place a crystal, and it'll bounce the beam to a new position. That log chopping book is as good as ours.
Oh yeah, so as you guys know, or if you didn't know, this is to get the log chopping book Bentley talked about before. It's frozen in some ice with a mammoth. You guys will see exactly what happens. Oh boy. Oh boy. Excuse me. I'm just gonna go down here instead. Catch you guys later. Falling up there with that bear. But they do a good job with working into missions. you know, having to run around a bit so you can get used to the layout of the map. There's the radio transmitters we were putting in before. But yeah, so the log chopping book is in there. Then there's a mammoth right there. Alright, here's where the next laser is. Alright, well that's just unlucky. Yes, I knew that was gonna happen. There's the northern lights. Well, that's just unfortunate. Now I have to go all the way back up. Ugh. I didn't think I'd have to push the circle button. What's a mammoth doing with a log chopping guide? How did that log chopping guide get right there? Why are there plot holes in this game for children? Excuse me, duck. You're not gonna follow me. Told you. Wuss. You can fly, dude. When in doubt, hit the circle button. Always never forget that. There we go. Oh man, I feel like I was just over there. Hey, geez, I only need 4 more clues. That was quick. Words I've heard before. Okay, game, come on. I know I have to go up there. I'm just kind of looking to see if there's any clues down here. I know that there's one underneath here. Yep. What? That was awkward. Oh, excuse me. Gonna hit you off there. Other man, hopefully you didn't have a family. My bad, my bad. Got some loots. Might as well just take that ruby out of you. Thank you much. Got a family to feed, dude. Hello, hello. Oh, shoot! You saw nothing. What a dumb idiot. Oh boy. Oh, come on. Are you guys just everywhere? This is the most amount of guards I've seen since the first Contessa level. Jeez. Just everywhere. Really want to burn myself. This felt kind of useless, having to go through all this. I feel like there was a better way to do this. I thought it was over here. Now we get to go all the way back up there. Gotta go the other way now. I know I said this was a cool way to see the map, but I'm over it. Especially seeing as I still have one more mission I have to do with Ben or with Murray. Game, come on, please let me grab that. This is not helping. Excuse me, boys. Last time you were ducks. What happened to that? A lot of goats in Canada. Any clues moves around here. Alright, see what we got.
Stand clear, Sly. Something else is coming out of the deep freeze.
Now, what up, Mammoth?
I've never seen such a majestic creature. So full of life.
He's not even running anymore.
Ready to live? So much for that. He's back in the deep freeze.
You sure? He's still just standing there on my screen there, buddy.
Cheer up, pal. We got the log chopping guide.
And for a guy that wears glasses, you'd think Bentley would be smarter than that. I'm absolutely playing into the stereotype. Where's that duck have a necklace? Oh man. I gotta say though, I think I'd feel like Bentley doing these missions where he's like all nervous to go out there. I'm not saying like I'd be nervous to go out or anything, but like what I am gonna say is like when you get back in the safe house, you just feel this sense of security. Move it, duck. Move it, goat. Moose, stop shooting me. I have things to do.
Rumor has it that several off-duty guards meet in that cabin for an RC combat club.
This is going to be great. I haven't been in any RC combat since that job we pulled in Istanbul. It was awesome.
We weren't part of that job. Doing stuff without us, guys.
Those guards will never let you into the combat club without a disguise. That old moosehead should do the trick. Only there's no way for you to get up there. Hide out in this barrel while I
Yeah.
Sly to steal the
You guys
head.
ready to see how awesome Murray's hiding spot is in this barrel?
Sly, if you
I mean, that can't be comfortable.
Moosehead without being detected, Murray should be able to join the RC combat club without raising any suspicion.
Yeah, that can't be comfy. Absolutely gonna be stealing from this guy first. You and your friends are just blind. Ooh, another ruby. Let's go. Yep. Boys. Appreciate that. Oh, another ruby. Look at that. Why do so many moose have rubies? Also, why is there a spotlight with a gun in a cabin? Stop asking these questions. Oh man, excuse me. Man, saw blades. Ugh. Cuts by saws are just one of those things I never like seeing. This part just gave me this part sent shivers up my spine when I was a kid, and it still kind of does as an adult. Ugh. 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 Sleep. Big dumb moose. Hello, hello. What's all this then? Hey, look at that. A lot of gold. It's worth a lot now, buddy. Thanks. Me. Alright, so I did all this sneaking around, then watch what Sly does.
Murray, heads up.
And he just yells and chucks it down there. Like, hey man. I'm a waste. Who's falling for this?
Any of you guys think
This is like in the Scooby-Doo movie when they dress up Scooby-Doo as an old woman.
maybe put a bet on it?
Oh, I'm in, eh? I ain't got
It's
a
the
lot of money
moose.
for this wager,
They're really going all in on the Canadian stuff. I'm in, eh? I'm in, eh?
That RC combat drone takes some skill to control. Steer with the left analog stick and hold down the X button for gas. After you collect the fallen ammo, press the square button to fire its turret. Here's a pro tip. You can only aim the turret while you're stopped.
Here's a crappy part. Only I can aim the turret while I'm stopped, but that guy can actually aim the turret while he's moving still. Here's a good part though, the game does all the depth perception for me. Ow. But yeah, see, like, look at that. If he hits me while I'm rolled over, he can just keep hitting me. He hit himself there though, so that's nice. Just stop. Thank you. Come on. Try to shoot me. Yeah, he's also got that little gas move that I don't have. This will give me 3. Yeah, that's just not fair. You won, eh?
That might be okay. It all depends.
Depends on what?
On whether or not you know the location of the Northern Light Battery.
Oh, well, I guess I owe ya.
Yeah, so he lost his accent for that last line.
After reading through the log shopping guide, it's become painfully clear that to win in the lumberjack games, we'll have to cheat. Now, I've constructed a plan that hinges around us acquiring an eagle's egg, which is more difficult than you'd think. First, Murray needs to lure a bear into taking out the local oil mains.
Oh boy.
Once destroyed, the pressurized oil should ignite and create updrafts, which Sly will then use to paraglide over to the eagle's nest, grab an egg, and then head back to the safe house. Thanks to Murray's undercover work in the RC Combat Club, we've learned that the Northern Light Battery is hidden in a silo nearby. The battery needs some serious modification if we're going to hide inside it to sneak onto Arpeggio's blimp. First, we'll short the battery with grapple lines on local boats. Then, we'll all break into the lighthouse and sever the power flow to the battery. That way it won't recharge. Given my electrical engineering background, this plan has a 97% chance of success. Pretty good, huh?
Alright. So we already got our next missions laid out. Stealing some eagle eggs. Working with some bears. Hacking some boats. Should be a lot of fun. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know, we got to do some RC combat. We got to see a lot of the map. Got a bunch of the clues. I think we got 26 or 27 of them. So, and I do know where another one is. It's right on top of the tower, so I know that. But yeah, no, I love this map. This one is a little bit more dense than the last one, obviously. There's a lot more going on, but this one is going to take a little bit longer than the last one did. That being said, I do love it, like I said. But for anybody that didn't make it this far, thank you so much. Once again, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you think. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good night.